Alright, so each day we're going to do a brain dump to start off the day for our class. And so today we're going to talk about geography and colonization. So this is what you guys should have in front of you right now, but I'm going to start from scratch. So I want you guys to kind of follow along with me. You guys are going to have the opportunity at the end to be able to do one for yourself. So I'm going to start off like this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw some of what I have right here. Because remember, on the test, you're not going to be able to have any kind of sheet, so you're going to have to be able to draw this from memory. So I'm going to kind of make this look like what you guys have on your sheet, and then we're going to go through it. All right, so I've got my 13 colonies right over here. I've got England over here, and I got Africa right here, and then I have our triangle right here. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the colonization and exploration reasons for it. So we had some countries besides England that were part of this, and so let's start with what we already know. And we know about Spain. So for up here we're going to put Spain. And Spain came for the 3 G's, which were gold, God, and glory. And then we also had France, who came for fur and trade, and they were in the Canadian area that is right up over here. All right, so when England got over here to the northeast seaboard, there were 3 different regions. So you had this one, and you had this one right here that split there. So you had 1, 2, and 3. The first region, the most northern one, was called the New England colonies, or the New England region. Then we had the middle colonies, and then we had the southern colonies. Now the New England colonies were founded for religious reasons, mainly, and one of those settlements, which was right here in 1620, was Plymouth. This is where the Pilgrims and the Puritans came. Then we had the middle colonies, where we have the majority of our immigrants that come in, and these were our breadbasket colonies. And the reason they called them the breadbasket colonies was because they carried a lot of grain and wheat. Those are the 2 ingredients for bread, and this actually right here was able to feed the entire world at one time. And one of the colonies and one of the towns that we have right here is going to be New York City. It has one of those natural harbors, along with right up in here, which has Boston as well. Then we have the southern colonies. The southern colonies were founded for economic reasons by England, and we have a settlement which is the first permanent settlement in the New World, which was done in 1607, which is Jamestown. All right, and right here, there was such fertile ground here in the southern colonies that John Ralph was able to bring over Spanish tobacco seeds, and this area just took off, and this became our very first cash crop right here. All right, so other things that also happened was in New England, their economics, because there was a lot of mountains and rocky soil, they couldn't do a lot of farming here. They were able to cut down a lot of trees and timber there. However, they weren't able to grow anything on the ground. So they had to look at the natural harbors that they had. They did shipping and trade, and they also did a lot of fishing and whaling in this area. Here, we already talked about in the middle colonies, they did a lot of grain and wheat. They also found a lot of iron here and natural resources that England would use. And then down here we have tobacco and other agricultural needs. Now what would happen here is all these raw materials were gathered up and they were sent to England, where the king, or the mother country, benefited in a thing called mercantilism. All right? And this made the king very happy because he made a lot of money off the colonies. However, the colonies were sad because they were doing all the work and then having to pay for it in return, because when the raw materials got to England, they would manufacture these goods, send them to Africa, where they would trade them for slaves that would then return come back to the colonies to do a lot of the agricultural in the southern regions that would then again continue the process going on. We call this triangular trade, where the raw materials kept going to England, manufactured goods, and then slaves this way. All right. One last thing, the colonies were able to start governing and making laws for themselves because of the distance between England and the New World. This led to documents like the Mayflower Compact, House of Burgesses, and the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. So there you have it, kids. This right here is your brain dump for the very first unit. Now I know it's a lot, but it gets easier as we go. You're going to have the opportunity to try to do one yourself later on today.